I'm back. Hey. Can y'all hear me? I hope you guys can hear me. Hold on, let me get the chat going, y'all. Hold up, I gotta get everything back. Damn. I gotta get everything back. Hold up. Hold the line. What is happening here? Hold on, let me get the chat back. What happened? Okay, I'm back on live. Oh, Lord. I'm gonna wait for y'all to come back. What happened here? What's going on? Hold on, let me make sure it's my MacBook. Okay, good. Everything's good. Okay. All right, we got the chat back. Let me get the control panel and select my screen. Oh, yeah, I'm live right now. Okay, here we go, y'all. I'm gonna wait for a few of y'all to come back. Oh my gosh, what just happened? Yeah, I had to get off the stream. Let me see who's gonna come in the chat. I think they blocked me. No, but I was able to saw. Hold up, they didn't block me. Okay, I just gotta wait a little bit longer, y'all. Y'all gotta get off the stream. Okay, here y'all go. Hi, hey CFT, hey sis. Yeah, we back. Who, I got scared. I was like, oh, well, not scared, but I was like, damn, they blocked me already. I didn't even say much. I was just reading an article. Right? I can't say his name anymore. You know what? I'm not gonna say his name because they could hear the name. So I'm gonna say no, they ain't get to me. Illuminati, mind and body, they not getting to me. I'm prayed up, man. Where my cross at? Hold up. Let me go get my cross. My cross and my crystals. Yes, I'm covered everywhere. Got the cross and the crystals. Everywhere, covered everywhere. Yo, okay, I'm gonna wait a few minutes. Got the cross and the crystals. This has never happened to me before, y'all. Just let y'all know. I've never had this happen to me before. They packed me right up out of here. You know what's so funny? It's like when I stream like a TV show on like Love Island or one of those like Netflix shows or whatever. That's how they be packing me up out of here. They just end the stream. This stream is no longer available. They had yogurt. Wait, is it going in and out? Yeah, burn the sage, y'all. Burn the sage. I only got 1 hour left for today, and then we gonna continue this conversation. So I got part 1, 1.5 is this one, and then part 2 tomorrow. I'm gonna talk about everything. I only got 1 hour left with y'all. I really gotta get going by like, I think Dom and I have to leave like around 12:15ish to make it at 1 o'clock. Yeah. Oh, I'm double protected. You know what? I was listening to the Real Talk Yanni. I don't know if you guys watch her. I love her channel so much. Like, I really love her content. And I think her name is Yanni or Yanni, but I believe it's Yanni. Real Talk Yanni. And she talked about the spirituality. I'm very spiritual. Very extremely spiritual. Look, man, listen, I'm gonna be protected on all fronts. My brother-in-law, he's Muslim. I'm like, pray for me. Get Allah. Whichever one. Whoever, just pray for me. Yeah, I got hitters in all of them. So yeah, there we go. Spiritually protected. Oh boy, yeah. It's some craziness going on. I've never had this happen. And I had Dom come in and check the internet, Wi-Fi. Everything was fine. Like my YouTube looked good, but we was talking too much. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna But we getting right back to business, y'all. Get right back to business. Okay. Let me do another window capture because I think my old window capture got messed up. So we're going to do a second one. Hold on a quick second, y'all. Let Nicki drag Jay-Z. You know what? People think Nicki's crazy. She's not crazy, y'all. She's not crazy. I'm just going to leave it at that. I didn't go over her rants too much because she got too much going on. But what I will say is that... yeah, the problem with her is that she seems crazy. She reminds me of like Jaguar Wright. Y'all remember Jaguar Wright, the one who was coming out talking about Jay-Z and all that stuff, and then she got shut. They packed her right up out of here. I don't hear nothing about her no more. They packed her right up out of here. Hold on. But you know what? Jay-Z can't be mad. He need to be mad at the person who wrote this article. I didn't do nothing. I'm just repeating what they wrote. Yeah, she's unhinged. That's what I'm saying. This is the thing. It's like, yes, is she manic? Absolutely. Nicki, I don't care for her husband. We already know he has PDF allegations against him. As far as like, R-word allegations against him. Excuse me, R-word allegations. She's not clean either, but she could still be right. That's all I'm gonna say. Now, continuing. You can't shut this down, Mr. Carter. But let's call him something else. We're gonna call him Rock, Mr. Rock himself. Okay. Let's continue. Ooh, this article had a lot to say. But there are still plenty of locals in the neighborhoods around Times Square. On October 16th, so this was in 2023, the Times Square casino team hosted an 8-hour free buffet for the locals. That's what we need. More salt and sugar. High sodium. That's what we need. The rapper Fat Joe, a RN client, so Fat Joe's in it too, y'all, showed up to lend his support. Of course he did. One prominent local community advocate told reporters she wasn't that impressed. Look at that. The local community people, they're not impressed. I think it's a really predatory business, said Aleda Lafargue, I hope I said her name right, a president of the Tenants Association at Manhattan Plaza. Okay, so she represents the rich folks, y'all. Let us see what she looks like, because I'm curious. Okay, here she go. She represents the rich folks. All right, she said it's predatory. I agree with her on that. A massive apartment complex with subsidized units for people working in the arts. Yeah, so you see, there you go. She's for the people. Lafargue grew up in Atlantic City. So she was there when Trump had his casino. So she knows what it's like to have a casino in the city. She grew up in that. And so now she's saying no. Where casinos promised to lift up the local economy but did the opposite instead. Of course they did. It's for them to do their money laundering. I done told y'all. The association joined the Broadway League's Times Square Casino Coalition. This long article, y'all. Okay. So, I might have to read this whole thing. My goodness, there's just so much. Okay, I gotta fast forward. The following September, Lafargue, I hope I said her name, Lafargue? I believe she's Hispanic, struck a more conciliatory tone. We are to listen to what they have to say, what they have to offer, she said, as executives from the RN and SL Green prepared to make a presentation. Shortly thereafter, local news outlet The City published an unsigned $20,000 monthly contract. Red flag. For Lafargue to provide strategic counsel to the casino project. So imagine, she was against it at first, and then all of a sudden, she changed her tune. I wonder why. Perez from RN says Lafargue never signed the deal, but that we continued to speak to her and Lafargue continued to be a conduit to the community. It was one of many which offers, Perez added. We have another community leader that did take a consulting fee, but did sign up for us to work with her so she could lead us. Okay, Lafargue initially gave several conflicting explanations in her response, but today maintains that she has never consulted for the casino. Okay, so basically she was in and out. She's like, look, maybe they try to bribe her. She's like, I ain't with it. Okay, continuing. This July, y'all, so much money. How many millions did I just talk about? How many millions? This July, Perez announced that the casino would give 22.5 million over 15 years to Manhattan Plaza and put 0.5% of the casino's profits into a trust controlled by the residents. So you see what they're trying to do? They're trying to bribe the whole city. So basically, you're spending way more money to make this plan come into fruition. Anybody can let you know if you're taking project management, if you're a project manager, the first thing you have to do, they always tell you, you need to pay attention to the cost, the budget. You need to control the budget. As soon as you're over budget, your project is more likely to fail. You're spending more money trying to start the project, and then when you start it, guess what you're trying to do? You're trying to recoup the loss. Is this why he has his wife, Mrs. Cowboy, working her behind off? I know she's a Virgo. She loves to work. I get it. But what is going on here? He sounds like he's doing a lot of business deals, spending too much money. He has that mindset, you got to spend money to make money. But what they don't tell you is, yes, you do have to spend money to invest. But then at a certain point, you got to stop. You got to reassess what's going on here. Because if you're already over leveraged, you're going to burst. The bubble will pop. He spent millions of dollars, y'all, on this plan. No casino in sight. These people got too much money to waste, I'm telling you. Considering the projected bill to remodel 1515 Broadway into a casino would come out to $5.4 billion, that stake could prove to be beyond lucrative. Alicia Keys, a RN client. Here we go. Alicia Keys. All of them the clients. That's why they behind their boss. Yes, people. That's why I said yes, men, yes, women. Who grew up in Manhattan Plaza, reportedly met residents later that day to talk up the deal. The Tenants Association withdrew from the anti-casino coalition a few days after that. Yeah, so she went to talking to say, hey, guys, I'm one of you. This is going to be good for the community. There he go. He got his spokespeople there. Residents' reactions were mixed, however. More than a few worried that the grant had hidden strings attached. Of course, it did. There were disagreements about whether to accept the casino funds. So the $22.5 million was withdrawn, redirected to a broad-based community fund. Of course it was. All the while, bold-faced names continued to join the casino cause. The Wires, Wendell Pierce. These are all actors in the entertainment industry is going down bad. AI's taking over that too. They need money, y'all. They need money. That's what's going on. He signed on after a $10 million pledge to support traditionally black theaters. Interesting. Sharpton, here we go. Who has long supported casino projects. Why? Got on board with this particular one early in this summer. Months later, the casino team made a $15 million pledge to build a civil rights museum. Okay. Oh boy, this is a long article, y'all. Charlemagne the God popped by a CAC hearing and expressed his support. So did Fat Joe, who introduced himself with his given name and his Bronx zip code, Joseph Cartagena, 10456. Other casino bidders have some measure of power. Nas, here we go, made his own trip to Albany on behalf of Resorts World, which is trying to expand its slot parlor into a full-service gambling hall, but nothing like this. Okay, we're going to say more people. Mayoral front runner. Okay, so it was Ma'am Danny. That's who it was. I thought it was Adams. It was Ma'am Danny. Here we go. They weren't the only backers. Several of the city's most powerful unions supported this and pretty much every other casino project because of the jobs they'll provide. To who? They helped convince mayoral frontrunner Zohran Mamdani to table his previous opposition to the casinos. Okay, we're going to continue, y'all. It's a lot, y'all. This is a lot. Okay, so the neighborhood had additional concerns. Despite it being New York's closest analog to Vegas. The first is its peep show history. Okay. During Bratton's guarantee that a 5-year resort like this will not bring back Times Square sleaze, residents who attend these community meetings say they're scared. They should be. You should be. Then there's traffic, which is already a nightmare. Again, they weren't thinking about none of that. No planning in sight. Greed. This is how, okay, I'm going to give you guys something right now. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. You said, I thought my tablet lost connection. I restarted. No, it was me. I'm sorry, sis. It was they shut me down. They got your girl up out of here, but I'm back. I'm just going to use different names now. So what I want to say is this. When you look at a project, this is a project, y'all. When you look at a project, like I said, if there's more money being spent, No. That means you're going to lose money. You're already at a deficit before you even started. You really think you're going to catch that up? Good luck. Number 2, it's going to make things worse. People are already struggling with the amount of traffic in New York. Y'all ever seen Times Square traffic? It's ridiculous because New York is an old city. Okay? It's an old city. They haven't built up the highways or the system the way that it should be. Of course, there's a lot of housing. It's a zoning nightmare. Okay? If you're into urban development, you know what I'm talking about. That Times Square strip is a nightmare. New York traffic, period, is a nightmare. Too many people living there. 1. And 2, the infrastructure. Okay. So now they're going to add to that. Who's going to suffer more? The locals. Here we go. Jay-Z doesn't even live there. That's why he doesn't care. None of them people live there. But you do. Your people do. You're the ones who are going to be affected on a daily basis. More important or most important are the fears that it could screw up Broadway's theater scene. Yeah, it's going to turn from Broadway to Harlem Nights real quick. It's going to turn from Broadway to some type of movie. Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's not going to be prestigious like y'all want it, quote unquote. Again, black people can be prestigious. Don't get me wrong. But y'all know what characters attract. Like, do you guys already know in our community who's attracted to the casino life and the fast money life? Come on now, let's be for real. It's enjoying a post-COVID boom, but the community worries there are never that many flops away from a bust. Yeah, it's going to burst the bubble. They don't want the added risk. Smart people. There's a project manager somewhere in there. I can guarantee you that. And a risk strategist. All of our theaters are here, LaShawn, the Tony Award-winning actress and producer, told me over coffee at Sardi's last year. A casino can go somewhere else, but we can't go anywhere else. There you go. You got to deal with this nonsense. You have to deal with it. All right. So they were protesting, y'all. Oh, Lord. There's a lot here, y'all. I don't even think I can finish reading it. It's a lot. Okay, it's finished here. All right. Let's just read the last paragraph. So Sharpton, for his part, brought things back to, y'all know who I'm talking about, Mr. Rock. He stressed at the Broadhurst that Rock N would give the casino diversity and ownership level and added, "You're not just given a token. Mr. Rock is nobody's token. He's the token booth." It's a great turn of a phrase, especially for New Yorkers of a certain age who remember when it took coin to get on the subway. It didn't get the project out of the station. Casinos need a uniquely strong degree of community buy-in, said Eric Botcher. Oh my goodness, these names. Considered the swing vote on the project, said in a statement. Despite its extensive outreach by the applicants, the level of support has not materialized. Yeah, people ain't with it. The appeal to Mr. Rock as an aspirational avatar and genius businessman wasn't enough. Not in a place that's inseparable from Broadway and the theater. Around New York, around the world, Mr. Rock is an icon. In this neighborhood, he's just another businessman. Shout out to New York. Shout out to New York. Y'all are smart. Whoever was part of this committee, the community members, you guys are what we would call intelligent. You understood that this project was not going to work in your favor. You're smart. I don't know who was part of that community, the community coalition, but they're right on the money. So now this man done wasted how much billions? Hold on. There was a lot of money being thrown around. But he's been investing for years, y'all. For years, going on a campaign like a politician. All right. So now, here, $585 million to stay afloat. I want to see how much money he invested. I don't think it tells us, but he invested a lot. Here, hold on. Did we have the money? Oh, sorry, I'm just flipping through it. I just want to see the money. Okay, I don't know, but he got a lot of money. He put a lot of money into it. It failed and flopped. This was in September, y'all. Let's run it back. When was Reform Alliance made? September. Red flag. Here we go, y'all. When was it created? We gonna go to the website, y'all. About us. Yeah, they always got an about page. Yes. Here we go, y'all. Here we go. When was it created? Let me go back. When was this? 2019. So this was around the time. Remember, he's been trying to do this since 2013. Here we go. So he got another thing. This Reform Alliance. Remember, he done lost money, y'all. Now, I don't know how we got to the rabbit hole of Mr. Rock and his dealings. But we gonna get right. Oh yeah, here. This is why. Thank you, Graham. You got me on this rabbit hole now. Let's continue with the AI video. That's what we were here for.
Overconfidence throughout AI. Money printing is rampant and speculation is back. So what does this mean for you? How should you prepare? And is this actually something to worry about? Well, the way I see it, no matter what's happening throughout the economy, it's always a good idea to diversify, not just throughout stocks, but also in what you own overall. For instance, BlackRock has argued that a small allocation to Bitcoin might provide a slight hedge to global instability. That's why I like using our sponsor, the Gemini credit card, because they give you or have appreciated too high. Bitcoin is not your thing. You could also select from more than 50 other cryptocurrencies that you could switch to at any time. Feel free to check out the description for more information on rate others.
Fast forward.
Again,
We don't want a credit
measurable
card
aspect. There's just no way to sugarcoat it. The market is trading at historically high valuations. Like 60% of venture capital is now going into AI compared to 40% that went into internet companies in the 90s. Our fear versus greed index is back at greed, and price to sales ratios are back to a number that we haven't seen in decades. But could that just be the result of endless money printing, especially since the dollar has seen its worst year since 1973?
Red flag.
Well, even though some theories would say that asset prices aren't up, the dollar's just going down, when you look at the data, as it turns out, that's not exactly true. Like, when you look at the dollar's value over the last 50 years, you're going to notice some pretty crazy swings. For instance, it depreciated from 2002 to 12, and then it appreciated throughout the 2010s, all during a time where the markets went up and down and back up again, effectively showing no correlation between the two whatsoever. Fisher Investments also analyzed this phenomenon going all the way back to the 1970s, when the dollar was taken off the gold standard. And as it turned out, the correlation between the trade-weighted dollar index and the S&P 500 returns...
He's saying something very important. The dollar, it used to be backed by gold. Now it's fiat currency, which means it's not backed by, it's backed by hype. The value. Whatever you value, that's what it's backed by. It's no longer backed by gold like it was before. Just letting y'all know that.
Is only about...
But other countries do it by gold, so I'll just leave it at that.
0.15, which is essentially zero. On top of that, they also discovered that global stocks were up 76% of the time, whether the dollar was rising or falling. Of course, that's not to say that the dollar can't have some impact in the stock market short term, but long term, it's shown that the dollar's moves really have zero correlation with the S&P 500's performance long term. But what about inflation? Surely that has to have some effect, right? Well, to a certain degree, yes, inflation can be factored into the price that you pay for a stock. But over the long run, when you really dig into the data, there's no correlation between the amount of money getting printed into the economy and the higher the stock market goes. Like as Ben Carlson from a Wealth of Common Sense blog points out, this could be because the stock market is supposed to be forward-looking and inflation involves backward-looking data. But even if you did some sort of look ahead, there's nothing there. This all suggests that the stock market is genuinely expanding outside of the amount of money that gets printed into the economy. So does this confirm then that we're not in a stock market bubble? Well, the truth is, if we are in a bubble, we usually can't tell until after the fact. And there's nothing that says we can't trade like this for much, much, much longer. Like, to help put this into perspective, if we traded at the same level as Japan did at the very peak, our S&P 500 would currently be at over 11,000. And right now, we're almost half of that, at the same time that there's $7.7 trillion on the sidelines that still hasn't entered the market. Not to mention, AI is backed by some genuinely very profitable companies. Like Google and Microsoft are not going to be going bankrupt if their AI investments don't pan out as well as...
They're not. You are. Red flag. You are. That's what. I'm sorry to laugh. I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because of the irony. They're not gonna crash. They got it. They like, we got it. Remember when the whole housing crisis happened in 2008? Wall Street did not take a hit, y'all. Matter of fact, they got a bailout. Hello. They were mighty fine, but the regular folks, my parents included, they were the ones who got affected.
As they expected, unlike a lot of the dot-com companies that vanished overnight. We also can't deny the transformative nature of AI, which is very real, and we could very well grow into these valuations at the same time too. Amazon is a great example of this. They survived the dot-com bust and are now one of the largest companies in existence. Not to mention, just the fact that we're talking about it being in a bubble means that maybe that's already somewhat priced in and we're not in a bubble.
It's not priced in, Graham. People are just doing whatever they want. That's what it is. That's it. There's no planning that goes into it. That's all I'm going to say, because I'll show you why.
I just think that now is a time to at least be cautious. Make sure you have a steady income. Make sure you invest consistently. Make sure you're properly diversified. And even if the market does go down, use it as an opportunity to buy back in even cheaper. That's why, in terms of what I'm doing, I am a huge fan of the phrase, the market could remain irrational longer than you could remain solvent. This means that as smart as you think you might be to predict the future and call a stock market bubble, the market has shown that it's consistently defied the odds, and betting against it so far has been very unprofitable. Like, take a look at Isaac Newton. During the South Sea bubble of 1720, he initially invested early, made a huge profit, and cashed out, thinking the market run was unsustainable. But then he watched as prices kept soaring and his friends got even richer. So despite his brilliance, he jumped back in near the peak. At first, he looked like a genius, but then everything came crashing down, and he lost huge. Don't let this be you. All of that is to say that I'm taking the approach of consistently dollar cost averaging into the markets on a regular basis, regardless of where it's traded.
He's actually right. And that's what, there's a book, I think I told y'all about it, The Psychology of Money. You keep going, but you go at a slower pace. The difference between you and other people will be that you are more strategic about where you put your money. Slower pace. I'm not saying you should be scared of the stock market. Absolutely not. You should be scared of hype. That's what you need to be scared of. When you see everybody saying, "Go, put your money in this, put your money in that." No, you're going to put your money in what you think and what you're going to do the research. That's number one. And number two, you're going to slowly increase your income. Slowly. Slow and steady wins the race. I thought the tortoise and the hare taught us that.
But I am doing my best to diversify across as many...
Oh, by the way, I'm going to change the thumbnail because I know if people get confused with my replays. I'm going to change the thumbnail to today's title.
Different sectors as possible.
Topic.
For instance, even though I'm investing in the United States, I'm also investing in international stocks, emerging markets, and a Bitcoin ETF, while also keeping some cash on the sidelines and tax-free muni bonds that earn anywhere from 3.5% to 5% a year. That way, I'm still invested, I still buy in. But if the market falls, I have some dry powder to buy in even cheaper. It's kind of like insurance, where, yes, I do miss out on some profits from not having all of my money invested. But if things fall, it's definitely going to pay for itself. Separate from that, in terms of a stock market bubble, from everything that I could find, the data points to the fact that the stock market is trading at a very high level that might be difficult to sustain. But that doesn't mean it can't continue going higher for a very, very, very long...
He's right. So during the Great Depression, that's what happened. It went higher, 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 higher. There were people who made a lot of money. Don't be fooled. As there were a lot of people in the food bank line, and a lot of people were destitute. A lot of people unalived themselves, but some people made millions of dollars during that time. It's all about choices, y'all. Psychology. That's all it is. You, again, slow and steady. You have to be strategic. Don't buy into hype.
And statistically, betting against it has lost more money than people have made. Or then again, maybe I'm totally wrong. I'm just a random guy making YouTube videos in a half-converted garage. So I would love to hear what you think of this.
All right, Graham. Thank you for your services. Continuing. So now let's watch CNBC. We're going to continue the relationship bubble tomorrow because I don't have much time. So we're just going to talk about AI today.
Global AI spending will top more than $330 billion in 2025 and $500 billion by the end of 2026. And by 2030, it could take about $2 trillion a year to support the infrastructure.
Where are we supposed to find that money, y'all? Look around you. I want you guys to do a little experiment this weekend when you get a chance, or this week. Look around you. Look around you. Where this money gonna come from? Look around you. People are losing jobs left and right. Where is it gonna come from? People need more government support than the other way around. So where's this $2 trillion gonna come from? Who's gonna buy? And for people who have businesses, all that stuff, that's great. But what I'm trying to say is $2 trillion is a lot of money. Where is that going to come from?
Being built today. That's more than Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, Meta, Nvidia, and Google's parent company Alphabet made combined in revenue in 2024.
It's the start of trillions being spent in this build out of the fourth industrial revolution. Big tech right now is doing the equivalent of building Vegas in the 1950s where there was just sand.
And you know what? The fourth industrial revolution, this is an opportunity. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't invest. What I'm trying to say is please be strategic. This is an opportunity because they're right. It is the fourth industrial revolution. Just like how we had oil and gas, then .com. This is the new wave. Be smart about it. Don't just invest just because people are excited and all these things. No. If anything, you need to be looking into the resources needed for this because, like you guys said, it needs electricity and water to keep running. But then they're using up resources that humans need. So somebody's going to have to create another way for this to go, like to be able to balance out. There's an invention waiting to happen with this. There's so many issues. And in business class, I learned that your business needs to solve a problem. You need to get at people's pain points. There's a lot of pain points in AI. Maybe one of you guys can come up with something for it. Trust and believe me, they're going to need you. That's all I'm going to say.
30 years ago. That's what's happening with this AI infrastructure build out. From the chips to the data centers to the grid, you're really building out the future economy for consumers and enterprises.
But some investors are worried where this is headed.
The concerns about AI spending here harken back to the dot-com bubble in the late 90s. The parallel is that it's money going into somewhat unproven technology and wondering if you end up with this wasted money.
At the same time,
I'm telling you, start thinking of ideas, start getting I know right now it seems impossible, especially when you have different things going on, but trust and believe me, there's going to be a solution somewhere. And if you don't have the money to create it, then you're going to invest in that. That is what's going to get you somewhere because it's going to come. That's what I'm saying. Like, whenever there's a crash or there's a burst of a bubble, then there's renewed change, right? And so in the change, I'll be like, okay, we're going to learn the lessons from the past. We're not going to do this. We're going to create this instead. We're going to do this instead. We're going to do this instead. Yeah. You got to help your what you invest in and what you're going to seek, the opportunities you seek. Think about the pain points and the solutions. If your investment offers a solution to people, that's a good investment. Not a damn casino. Red flag. What solution is that? That's why I said it was going to go in the gutter from the beginning. Temporary. Yeah, it's going to get you a little bit of money in the beginning, but then long term, it's not going to be effective. It's not going to yield long-lasting results. It's a money pit. Greed. You want to think of sustainability, progress, future, longevity. That's what matters more.
This explosion of AI spending may be masking other weaknesses in the economy. A September 2025 Deutsche Bank analysis argued that without AI-driven investment, the U.S. might already be in a recession.
GDP is being driven by all this investment. Earnings growth is being driven by all this investment. Yeah, it's pretty unbalanced right now, and that does create a vulnerability to an investment bust.
Still, others see AI as the next productivity boom and potentially America's best shot at growth.
Will there be bumps along the road? Yeah, but I don't fear that this is too big to fail, given it's propped up by tech. trillion on the balance sheet, generating another 300 to 400 billion in cash a year.
So is AI infrastructure spending masking a weak economy? And what happens if that spending slows? AI spending is powering corporate growth, stock market gains, and parts of the GDP. The biggest names in tech are riding a wave of AI-driven optimism.
There's going to be more spent in the next 2 years than the last 10 years combined.
So you see, there's gonna be more spent in the next 2 years. So we're already 2025. He's talking about 2026, 2027. Then in the last 10 years, because as technology advances, you need more resources. They're going too fast. That's the problem. They're too fast. That's the issue. Slow down. Why? Hype, greed. It will always make you go faster. That's a problem, y'all. It's too fast. How are we at the place now that we are spending more money in the next 2 years than the last 10 years? This wasn't prepared. It wasn't planned for. No, it wasn't. Blinded by greed. And Karma, you said UBI would be the utopic solution to AI taking some jobs. Yes. And you know what? Some people are very much against universal basic income because it makes them think like that it goes back to, you know, when it goes back to communism, y'all, to be honest with you. That's what they used to do, give people fair wages and all that stuff, right? But if you think about it from another angle, UBI would actually help some people. It might not help all people, but it will help some people, especially those who are smart, who already have the mindset to do more. Because think about it, if you had a steady income coming in, I mean, it's kind of like working, right? But except you're using your creativity, you're getting universal basic income. So no matter what you do, you're going to get it. You're going to get a set amount. You could do so much with that money. Kind of like COVID, right? I feel like COVID prepared us for that because a lot of our governments gave us like COVID money, right? The stipend, people got loans, stuff like that, right? And some people, they actually made more money during COVID than ever. Why? Because they allocated their resources and they multiplied it. But then others spent it on casino, liquor, garbage. There's always going to be these types of humans around. That's the human experience. Some people are going to do well and others aren't. Some people are going to make smart decisions and others aren't. That's just the way of the game. But it could be an opportunity. That's all I'm going to say. All I'm going to say is that if it gets to that point, especially if you have ancestors who have learned to circumvent a system that wasn't designed for them, kudos to us, y'all. Let's just put it out here. Kudos to us, all of us out here, who have navigated a system that has oppressed us for centuries, taken us out of our motherland, placed us here, and look at around us. We've been able to circumvent a lot, y'all. The human mind is amazing. You'd be surprised at how much you can do with so little. And this is why I like reading a lot of parables from the Bible. Yeah, I understand religious thing, you know, religious might not be, I get it. Trust and believe me. I know. Trust and believe me. But when it comes to understanding things on a deeper fundamental level, as far as stories, there was one story in the Bible that talks about it. The 10 talents, I think it was, where one person got like, they all got the same amount, but one person dug it in the ground and hid it. And then another person had talent and then they exploited it. And then another person got talents and they multiplied it. Who do you think was successful? The smart one. Make better decisions, better choices, start small, scale up. You're going to be in a way better position. Trust and believe me.
2 to 3 trillion. You're only in the second inning of a 9-inning game.
Unlike the dot-com boom, where companies had little revenue, many of today's AI giants are bringing in a lot of cash. But some experts are worried it may not be enough to sustain the elevated level of spending. Some companies are turning to the bond market to finance the infrastructure expansion by issuing debt that they plan to pay back later.
You see? Why not slow down? What's the problem? Why are they so You see the whole Jay-Z story? That's what I'm saying. You're going to start looking at pattern recognition. And I agree with you, Sasha. 100%. There's potential in nuclear renewable energy. 100%. Remember, we read through the whole Jay-Z story of his casino venture. Going too fast. Spending way too much money. Quickly. Failure. Bust. AI, they're going to put you in debt and get into debt to make more money later. What does that sound like, y'all? A Ponzi scheme. Why are we spending money like it's endless? Where are all of these principles of basically of finance? If you don't have it, you don't buy it. But then if you look at our government, and I'm talking collectively, not just Canada, I'm talking about North America, wherever, global. If you look at our governments and you look at how they spend, how are you, and we don't even learn finance when we're kids, by the way. We don't learn that in school. We learn basic fundamental math, but not how to do daily living, finance, budgeting, none of that. Nobody really learns that. And if you did, you're lucky. But we didn't learn that in the public school system. These people are spending money like there's no tomorrow. And then trying to play catch up. What they're doing is playing catch up, but at whose expense? Here we go, Ponzi scheme. Using debt to invest. But you don't have the money. Why not stop? Why not stop? Greed.
That means if profits fall or the technology doesn't deliver, companies could be left with loans they can't repay. The consequences wouldn't just hit the stock market, they could also hit the overall economy.
Consumer spending, corporate spending, it all depends on how people are feeling. If people are feeling positive about the future, if CEOs are feeling good about growth prospects, if CEOs look at business conditions, they're going to keep spending because the money's there. If interest rates stay low, they're going to keep spending because money's plentiful and it's easy to get. If any of those conditions should start to deteriorate, specifically inflation, if inflation starts to spike, it will change consumer attitudes. If the labor market gets worse, it will change consumer attitudes, it will change business attitudes. So all of these things have to kind of keep working in concert together to be able to continue this cycle or super cycle.
My opinion is going to burst based on what's going on here. How are you going to sustain it?
Of AI spending. Should one of them fall out of place significantly, it could change the dynamics of everything and cause problems.
But not everyone sees this as fragile. Some think AI is simply the future of innovation.
It is. It is if done right, but the way we're doing it is improper. That's the problem. If we shift how we're doing it and how we're approaching it, then yes, it's going to be a success. The fourth industrial revolution is here to stay. But if we keep continuing the way that we're continuing, it is not going to go well. You're going to have to start over. You're going to have to, again, it's going to crash, and then it's going to reemerge, but in a better way. And hopefully for us, when it crashes, or before it crashes, we've already prepared ourselves to when it gets to where it needs to go. But right now, people are trying to jump ahead. Why are you jumping so fast? Calm down. Billionaire, slow down. What is going on here? Is there something we need to know why you're rushing?
Reality is it's an arms race. You have
Hey girl came back to support. I can't stand. Hey Devonda. Hey sis.
first
It's
China,
okay.
and they don't have time to slow down.
You see?
China,
Hold on. Let's go back. He's talking about slow down. Hold up. He said something here.
This as fragile. Some think AI is simply the future of innovation.
the reality is it's an arms race. U.S. versus China, and they don't have time to slow down.
So this is what it's about. I got it here. I figured it out. I couldn't piece the puzzle together. He just said something very important. China's too ahead, y'all. They've beaten us. Because while Jay-Z's sitting here, billionaire at that, trying to build up a casino in Times Square, you want to know what the Chinese billionaires are doing? They're investing in this stuff. That's the difference. This is the separation, y'all. Let me break it down real quick because, racism is expensive. I explained that to Dom because Dom couldn't understand. He was like, what, with all this money in the U.S., Like, US should be way further than China. And I said yes. But unfortunately, the difference between China, Korea, all the other countries, even some countries on the African continent, homogenous. There's less infighting going on. And there's more work. People are getting to where they need to go. They understand fundamental cultural norms. US and Canada is a difference. Racism will always keep us back. Imagine if we all work together. The level of intelligence in the US, y'all. They get people on that H-1B visa from different countries. People leave their countries and cause a brain drain in their own countries to seek opportunities in North America. They are literally working for the US government or US wherever. You have so much intelligence in the United States, different races, but because you're blinded by racism and greed, you can't even see that. If we had all worked together, they use some of the skills. There are a lot of talented black AI, tech people. There are a lot of computer science whizzes that are black. Who are black? They could have worked together with us. But no, you want to separate, conquer and divide and conquer. And guess what? China, they've already been on one accord for centuries, taking over different areas of the world. While we were fighting and arguing about racism, celebrities, casinos, trying to invest into casinos, they were putting in work. Now they're way up ahead. They even got the space game on lock. I hope you guys know that. I might have to do a live stream about China, y'all. They've been there. They've been on that. Even the tariffs the tariffs hurt. I'm not going to lie. It hurt them. But it didn't destroy them. They were there for the long game. And while we sitting here trying to build casinos, they're already light years ahead of us. And this is why they're rushing, y'all. But it's too late. When you had so many chances to wake up, what was going on? The signs were there, but they didn't listen. So now this is what's going on, y'all. They racing. That's why it's going too fast. It's gonna burst. They want it to burst, actually, but it's going to burst eventually. I don't know what's going to happen afterwards. And this is why they were trying so hard to buy TikTok. This is why they had to mess up the whole algorithm. TikTok was about to be on some past Google type activity. If we're really keeping it honest, the algorithm couldn't be matched. So they had to cause all of this chaos here. But I'm telling you right now, this is not looking good. It's going too fast. And where's the money going to come from? Too late. When there was so much money around the 2018, 2019 era, between I would say the crash market happened in 2008, the crash. Then I would say between 2009 to 2020, recovery. People was making bread. People were buying houses. Houses were super cheap. Rent was pretty stable. You had all that time to invest into technology and AI, but what was you doing? Fighting black people. Obsessed. That's what you was doing. Fighting Hispanic people. Trying to keep us out of the system. You're so focused on keeping us out from the system, keeping us out of the system, that you didn't even think to work with us. And now look at what you got right now. It's a mess. Racism will always be expensive. At the expense of our I'm telling you, at the expense of us as humanity, as a humanity, getting to where we need to go. Diseases could have been cured already, y'all. We could have been way ahead, y'all. Way ahead. Infrastructure. Everything would have been better. Greed, racism, ego will get you every time. This is the start of a fall of an empire. It happens every few hundred centuries or every few centuries, every 150 years. I think that's what the timeline was, 200 years. This is the difference. But guess what? China's been there for centuries, y'all. They ain't never fall. Just letting y'all know. They've been there longer than us. They didn't even have... Matter of fact, you want to know what's making them get to where they are right now is they had to open. They were like, look, I think it was Mao Zedong, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. If you're a Chinese scholar, or you studied Chinese history, you let me know. But I believe it was around Chairman Mao's era. He realized it. He was like, yo, we can't keep being isolated, y'all. We got to start to accept foreign investments or start to talk to foreign people, because if we don't do that, we are going to collapse. Korea realized it real quick. We can't isolate ourselves. So what did they do? They started opening little by little, but controlled. They did it the slow way. Little by little, started connecting with African countries, started connecting with the BRICS, with different Latin America. They started little by little, y'all. Little by little, pacing themselves. And then you got these bozos here. Yes, I'm calling them bozos in our country. They couldn't even see that. And now we're in 2025. What's happening? Exactly. Continuing.
Because China is accelerating it as well. And I think that's bullish in terms of the CapEx cycle that I really view as an AI super cycle.
Experts call the spending surge we're seeing a CapEx supercycle. This is when companies keep pouring money into building out the infrastructure for this new technology.
When we talk about super cycles, we think about an accelerated pace of something. We talk about sort of a peak, things that we have seen in the past when huge changes come about in industry.
This is the biggest tech spending trend we've seen in the last 40, 50 years. There's a view that it typically ends a CapEx cycle after 2 to 3 years. The super cycle means that this could go on, not just 2 to 3 years, 5, 7.
We can't afford it. So where are we going to be in 5, 7 years? We can't afford it. You can see it, I can see it. We can't afford it. People can barely pay rent. How are we going to get the $2 trillion needed in the next 2 years? Where's it going to come from? How are the taxpayers going to pay if they don't have a job? Red flag. You didn't think about this. Stupid. All the times that we were begging y'all, hey, give us a chance at the table. Let us sit here. We want to talk to you. We want to work with you. We don't want no problems, man. We just want to live together collectively, peacefully, and advance humanity. That's what we were trying to do. You couldn't even hear us. You didn't want to. And then look at China in the background. They understood the assignment. We failed. And history always repeats itself.
10
They didn't recognize the patterns.
years. That's why, by definition, it's really an AI tech supercycle.
To sustain this level of spending, companies need a few things: favorable borrowing conditions, strong profits to self-fund expansion without relying entirely on debt, and confident investors so they can keep supporting high valuations.
How are we going to do this if we don't even know if we're going to keep our jobs tomorrow? Can somebody tell me? Favorable borrowing conditions. Okay, the banks. Where's that money going to come from? Is it going to keep cycling? Number 2, strong profits to self-fund expansion without relying entirely on debt. It's already impossible. They're already over-leveraged. Number 3, confident investors to keep supporting high valuations and willing to fund long-term bets. How can we continue to be there long-term if right now the priority is feeding our families? Snap's about to be done soon or something. They put a temporary pause on it anyways. They're about to get rid of people's SNAP benefits on the 1st. Where's this money going to come from? From the working class? Who's dealing with inflation and grocery costs? Where's it supposed to come from? And even if we could invest, it's not the amount. It's not even nearly the amount that you need, the $2 trillion. How?
And remain willing to fund long-term bets in the space.
But certainly as we go through the rest of these incredible estimates of how much capital is going to be required to build out this infrastructure to avoid seeing electricity prices to continue to go up for the public is going to require a lot of debt over time.
Yeah, debt. That's it. Debt. Slavery. I'm being honest. When you owe money, you're literally like a slave. A slave to debt. That's what you are. They want us to operate like this. How are you supposed to have freedom if you're always in debt? How? How are you supposed to be free?
Once that cash flow has been used up, that'll be a real sign that we're getting into the more, dicey or precarious stage of that process.
If AI companies flood the market with new debt, or if interest rates stay high, investors could pull back, exposing a fragile national economy. While AI spending is booming, much of the U.S. economy isn't sharing in the gains. This spending may make the U.S. economy look healthy on the surface, but the averages may be obscuring a deeper divide.
There's this notion of a K-shaped economy that really started to take root about 5 or 6 years ago.
A K-shaped economy means that while
during COVID, y'all. 5-6 years ago was 2019. COVID era. COVID started 2020, but 2019 towards the end was when it started. So this theory started 5-6 years ago. Interesting.
some people, mostly investors and homeowners, are doing better than ever, others are falling behind.
One speed is people who are asset holders, like who own stocks, who own large amounts of real estate. They're doing very well. At the bottom part of that K are people who don't have exposure to those kind of things and are kind of just living paycheck to paycheck and are trying to save a little bit of money here and there, not getting very much return on the money that they do save, and therefore they fall further and further behind.
Consumer spending, which is typically the cornerstone of American economic growth, has been showing mixed signals. High-income earners are the driving force behind most retail sales, but lower-income Americans are struggling to keep up.
When the spending comes from people who are at higher income levels, it masks what the greater fundamental.
And guess what? The people at the lower levels are the ones who spend the most. So again, where's this money going to come from?
Are for the economy. The people who have the most money, they can weather inflation, but if your income's not going up as fast as inflation is going up, that's not a good thing, and it hurts more when you're at the bottom end of the ladder.
Some argue that AI could be exacerbating the divide by benefiting asset holders, while the bottom half of the economy sees little to no lift. The labor market is also struggling. Unemployment is low, but hiring has slowed. And
unemployment is low. Red flag. Where you getting your stats from, sis? Unemployment is low.
Long-term joblessness hit nearly 26% in August 2025.
The labor market looks very, very weak to me. It's on the precipice of a more pronounced decline.
Almost all of the growth has come from government-related sectors, things that are dependent on government spending, particularly healthcare jobs and government jobs. The other part of the growth story has been service-related jobs. The rest of the economy has not seen much growth as far as employment goes. So while it looks like a lot of people are working, and they certainly are, there again is another story of not an equal dispersion of gains,
And even if you are working, you're not gonna go to a restaurant if you can't even afford. That's what I'm saying. Like, choices have to be made. So who is going to go to eat at a restaurant and a fine dining establishment or shop right now when they have to worry about groceries for the next month? Who? Bubble, living in delusion, the Lululand.
Widespread dispersion of gains. Things just sort of concentrated. And when things are concentrated, if you have weakness in a particular sector, that could spell trouble.
AI is already disrupting the job market. The International Monetary Fund estimates that about 60% of jobs in the developed world are exposed to AI, meaning they could be transformed or replaced by automation in the coming years.
Does it cause some pain? Yeah. Will there be job losses? Yeah, but net, I think it's a job creator. when it's all said and done. And I think it's going to be.
It is, because you're going to look at what AI can't do and you're going to fill the gap. That's it. That's how all things get created. Like, I'm pretty sure whoever invented the internet thought about that. Like, why are we using books? Y'all know when I was in grade school, I had to use an encyclopedia to get my resources. We didn't have such thing as the internet. It didn't exist in my life until I was like maybe in 5th grade. I had to use the encyclopedia. Whenever I had to do a paper for school or whatever, go to that encyclopedia. My dad had a whole bunch of encyclopedias there. Encyclopedias. That's how we used to do our sources and research. Had to go in them books. Then the internet came. Revolutionized everything. Look, I'm using the internet right now to talk to you guys. Something that I would have never been able to do in the early 90s. I was a kid anyways, but still. There's always opportunity, y'all. In chaos, there's always opportunity. Don't let it fool you and think that, oh my God, the world is done. And no, there's always going to be opportunity coming from there. The star that fell, sis, you said not to mention they're paying people to train AI and then lay them off. Yup! We're going to talk about that too. I don't have much time, but we're going to talk about that tomorrow. I'll segue into that tomorrow a little bit. They pay them so much money and then they fulfilled their purpose. They're dropped. Yup! They're training you to AI to become you, but there will never be another you. I hope you know that. Creativity, AI could never. And even if it gets to the point where it might, the consciousness is different, y'all. Humans are different. We're built different. We can make more things. You can't replicate that. And also, yeah, the AI system is being modeled off of your likeness, but it can never be you. It's like you know, when you have somebody who copies you, they'll do everything. If somebody right now did my case studies, they could do it the same exact format and it will still sound different because they don't know how to do it like I do. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm the best. I'm saying it as a fact. There's different elements of the story and of experiences that I've had that's separate from you. And same thing with you. You are going to sound completely different from me. You're going to sound better. If there's something that you're gifted at, I can never be you. Ever. I can copy you. I can imitate. But that mine is different. You could look just like me and we will still sound different. You guys have heard so many of the I do a lot of case study couples, the same ones people have done. There's so many millions of videos about them, but we all sound different. You can watch the same news segment from different sources and it will all sound different. The delivery is different. The way that the tone is different. The story arrangement is different. Everything's different, but it's the same story. How? You can't model me. Original. The blueprint. You can't. That's why when black people say we got the sauce, it's true. There are some things that other people can't do. You can't. And same thing for other races too. They got the sauce in some stuff. There's some things that they're really good at that we cannot duplicate. Individually and collectively. That's what I'm saying. You have a secretness to you, and that's what people don't realize. You're the sauce. You got a certain sauce that's different. You're going to look at something. Dom and I could be talking about a topic, and we look at it from completely different lenses. Same topic. I'm thinking about it one way, he's thinking about it another way. That's where communication barriers come into place. Not just language, y'all. You could say one thing and somebody will understand it in another way. That's why there's so many religious wars. Why do we have so many sects? Because we all can look at the same damn Bible. Sorry, I don't want to call it damn. Same Bible. And come up with different variations of what we think that the Bible meant. AI cannot do that, y'all. It can't. Just letting y'all know.
huge tailwind for the U.S. economy.
Estimates suggest that significant labor market disruption will scale gradually over the next decade as generative AI technology is adopted. During that transition, the divide between those who hold capital and those dependent on labor could widen. But to some, this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
I believe this AI super cycle is just starting. So I don't view that this is one propping up the economy. It's just the start because of the multiplier. Every dollar spent on a video chip is a $10 multiplier across the rest of tech. That's also going to be bullish for infrastructure, power, grids. And that's really the future as it spreads beyond big tech.
Okay. So you see, he's optimistic, right? I am to a certain extent. But I'm gonna play this last video and then I really gotta get going, y'all. But I'm gonna come back tomorrow. What was it called? Oh my god, I watched it. I wish. Okay, wait. The pay self checkout. That's what it's called. Okay, let me tell y'all what's going on right now. So to leave on a lighter note, because yes, AI is here to stay, y'all. It's not going anywhere. Even if there's a bubble burst, even if they're just going to realign it to something else. So that's why I said just look into opportunities to create and opportunities to get to the pain points, to create something that will answer a question or solve a problem for people when they use AI. There are a lot of people who have no idea how to use AI. There are a lot of people who don't even know what AI is. There are a lot of people who, what we need, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm going to stick it out there. Hey, somebody could do something and maybe it'll be me. Who knows? But there are a lot of AI fake videos going around. People don't know how to recognize the real and the fake. That's another opportunity right there. Create something where people, you can help people recognize real and fake. You have like a system that recognizes if it's an AI or if it's a real human. There you go. Opportunity. There's so many opportunities. There's so many pain points here because it's still new and fresh. So don't think about it like, oh my God, the bubble's going to burst and that's it for us. No. There's so much opportunity out there. We just have to get into the mindset of thinking differently and starting to really create opportunities on our own. You got the power. You're going to take the power in your own hands. And you're going to start doing what you need to do. There are a lot of you guys who are more educated than the people who are talking here. Way more educated. Don't limit your mindset. I'm telling you, you're way more educated, way more qualified than you think you are. You're probably more qualified than your boss. Hello. Start thinking differently. You have the power. You have the mindset. They can never take that away from you. Ever. Now, we're going to talk about the rest of the self-checkout machines. Because I remember several years ago, I don't know if it was 10 years ago, whatever, they started introducing the self-checkout. Remember, hold on, let me put this down so I can see y'all first before I show it. They were telling us it's the wave of the future. They got rid of a whole bunch of cashiers. They wiped them out. Same thing that's happening right now with AI. Had cashiers training the system to take and replace them for self-checkout. We no longer need you cashiers. They was getting all greedy, the owners, the grocery store owners, retail owners, restaurant owners, whoever. We got the self-checkout here. We don't need you no more. Okay, what's going on in 2025? Let's watch. This was just published by the Today Show, y'all. Today, news, whatever. And there was another one that was published by CBC. Here. Hold on. Let me see if I could find the most recent one. That's not the one I wanted to watch. I wanted to watch here. This one. This CBS Boston. And there was one in Canada too, but I can't find the Canadian one. We're going to play this right here. Hi, Eugenia. How are you, sis? You said, hi, Romy. Finally caught you on live, Romy. I've been trying to join the membership, but it looks like it's not accessible from Africa. Can't join. Oh no, you can't join the membership? I didn't know that. Oh, this adds a monkey in the wrench. I did not know that. Hold on, there's a lot of y'all who can't join the membership. Okay, I'm gonna think of something else because that one I have to keep private. I'm trying not to get copyright strikes, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna figure something out. Just give me a second, okay? Not a second, but give me some time. I'm gonna figure something out this week. I know that there are some I have to keep private for privacy purposes, to be quite honest with you. But accessibility, I didn't realize that some of you couldn't do it. And that's why I did the Rumble. I remember that was a while ago. I did forget about that. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'll find another way. I'm going to find a loophole. I might have to start Patreon, y'all. I might have to start Patreon. I didn't want to do it. I wanted to keep things on YouTube, but I might have to move over to Patreon or put them on Rumble. I could put them on Rumble. I think that'll be fair. I don't know. I'll figure out a system for you, sis. And I'm sorry to hear that. I'll figure something out. And then I will announce it very soon. I'm going to figure out something out this weekend for you. VPN. Yeah, like but even VPN won't work to a certain extent. I got to figure this out. Yeah, because the reason I kept it on YouTube, to be quite honest with you, was because it's just easier access, right? Because you're already on YouTube watching the case study, so it'll just be one-stop shop. But I do have to make it, I do want them to be informative and educational and accessible to everyone, like not just people who have the who can get a membership. Like, you should be able to watch them. I gotta think about it. All right, give me some time. I'll think about it this weekend. I'll come with a solution soon. I don't mind putting them on Rumble, to be quite honest with you. I just have to make it fair for the members. Okay, we got to think about this. Okay, anyways, let me get back to the plan. This is the last video we watching, and I got to really be out. All right, I'll think of something and announce it soon. So I'm sorry to hear about that. I completely forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie. So I got to think about something. Okay. Well, I'll get to it. So, yeah, why are some stores bagging self-checkout? Let's watch this.
Market Basket, which is a unicorn.
Let me go back.
Go to the grocery store or a big box retailer, there is a very good chance you're going to be your own cashier.
Yeah, self-checkout has just exploded in popularity, but now there are some signs that it's gone too far. In tonight's Question Everything, why are some stores bagging self-checkout? It's a retail riddle. What's convenient, but also a pain?
Help is on the way.
Where you pay
$99
to work. It's self-checkout, and you love it.
It's quicker. 100% quicker.
And you loathe it. What do you think of self-checkout overall?
I think it sucks.
Rebecca Hall uses it, begrudgingly.
9 times out of 10, an item isn't going to scan right. If you have a greeting card, the weight is all off, so they have to call.
Exactly, Devonta Pittman. Yes, that's why I got away from Rumble. I ain't gonna lie, because I started posting some of the membership videos on Rumble, but it's just too messy for me, like, as a platform. That's why I stopped. I ain't gonna lie to you. Even Twitch too. Twitch is a little too different for me. Like, I don't know. There's a certain, for me, I'm very particular about where I post my content. So going forward, I actually want to start a Spotify. That's more of my speed, and YouTube. Those two places. Maybe even Apple. That's the most I'll go. Twitch, I'll only do it sometimes, like if I want to like review a show and I don't want to get a copyright strike. But as far as putting like all of my videos on there, it's not gonna happen. Rumble, that's why I steered away from it. It was just a little too different for me. But I'll still keep it in case, like, you know, in the future, like in case something happens on this channel, then at least you could find me there. Just keep that there. Keep the Twitch up. I'm not going to delete it. But what I'm going to do, though, is I think I'm just going to start a Patreon, to be honest with you. Because I don't want some of the videos, I'll be honest with y'all, some of the videos that we're doing on the membership, I don't want them exposed to the public. And I have a reason for that. And we got to keep it private because I'll be sharing a lot of information. I'll just put that there. And your sister's not trying to get into legal problems, okay? So that's why, that is the only reason why I have to keep it behind the paywall, to be quite honest with you. Privacy purposes. So what I will do is I will start a Patreon because I was nervous, and not nervous, but I was hesitant to do that. But it looks like I'll have to start a Patreon, make it the same price as the YouTube membership. And those who cannot join the membership, you can join the Patreon. And you'll get like the same amount of information and the live streams and stuff like that. I'll post it there and keep it behind a paywall. We got to keep some stuff private. I don't want it to get to the public for a specific reason. So we'll do that. So I'll create the Patreon. I already have one. I just haven't launched it because I was still, again, hesitating to do it. I was just like, But if you cannot join the YouTube membership, then join the Patreon. The same information will be on the Patreon and membership. There's not going to be a difference. It will be literally the same thing, but it's only for people who cannot join the YouTube membership. Then you can join the Patreon. I think that'll be better. And then in the future, I'll have to figure out what I would put on Patreon and see how I can make it fair and equal. Welcome, sis. Welcome to the inner circle. Patreon is the way to go, and Twitch is $7.99 without the free trial. No ads. It's expensive. Yeah, Patreon. I'm going to do Patreon. So I'll announce it tomorrow. I'll give you guys my name and everything. I'll set it up, and then let's just do Patreon. So if you can't do the membership, join Patreon. That's what it is. It'll be the same price, same exact information. If I do a live stream on the membership, it will be ported over to the Patreon. So that way you can get access to it regardless. If you're a member, Patreon member, it'll be the same exact information. It's just for people who don't have access. That's it. Yeah, I want to make it at least fair. So, yeah. All right. Thank you, sis. Thank you for both of you guys. Avonda Pittman. Thank you, sis, for joining the circle. Welcome. Is there more things on YouTube or Patreon? No, it's going to be the same. It's only Patreon is only going to be for those who cannot join the membership because of where they're from. Because sis said that she can't join the YouTube membership because of her country. YouTube won't allow it. So Patreon will literally be a duplicate of the YouTube membership. Nothing different. It's literally going to be the same videos just posted on Patreon because I have to keep them private for a reason. Like, for example, I did the Maisley one. I just posted it yesterday or last night sometime. We got criminal records up in there, y'all. There's going to be all that information in there. I'm going to be talking real stuff, y'all, and sharing a lot of personal stories. So that's why I want it behind a paywall, just so I can keep control of it. And if it does get out, then I know it would be somebody on the inside, and I can decipher who shared the information. It'll just be easier that way instead of me putting it on Rumble on a free platform, because then anybody can share it and, do whatever they want with it. What about the Discord? That's a good question, sis. The only reason I haven't posted on Discord, to be honest with you, videos and stuff, is because of the bandwidth. I don't have the bandwidth for it. It's too limiting. That's the only reason, to be quite honest with you. I was thinking about doing that. I ain't gonna lie. When I first started sharing, like when I started getting copyright strikes, Discord was the first place I wanted to go. But then the space. My videos take up a lot of space, yo. Even this live stream, I remember last week I did a live stream. It was like almost 42 gigs. That's a lot of space. So then I'd have to keep paying for the storage. I would overload the system just based off of the space that I use. So that's why I try to use platforms like YouTube, and I would use Patreon just to be able to have that space. Yeah, listen, it's got to be economically beneficial too at some point, because I'm going to be wasting money just on cloud space and stuff, right? So you said, LOL, girl, I had to renew my membership. Yeah, Maisley is crazy. Oh, my God. There's more coming up, y'all. Yeah, criminal records. Both of them. Well, one criminal record. The other one was just court records. We'll just put it that way. So, yeah, sometimes I can. I even tried to do a live stream on the Discord, but it's only like, like I said, I'm still getting used to it. But sometimes, yeah, maybe I'll do Discord only live streams, too. I'm thinking about doing that too. Once the job action is done, once I'm done striking, I'm gonna get back to my usual schedule on Discord, and then we can have some live streams for Discord as well. All right, let's finish watching this, y'all. My time is coming up.
Call somebody over.
For stores, it's supposed to be a cost saver. For customers, a time saver. But we may have hit a crossroads where suddenly retailers aren't saving as much money. And shoppers like Martha say there are constant errors.
And the experience is just...
Now some big retailers are scaling back. Target told me, quote, "We're rolling out express self-checkout with limits at 10 items and opening more traditional lanes."
Y'all want to know why they're giving them people back their jobs? Cashiers are coming back. I'm going to give you guys a quick story time. We're going to finish this video and wrap this right up because I really got to rush to go. So, people stealing. They're not talking about the theft. People are stealing. There was a dollar store down the street from me, like from my in downtown, because I used to go on my lunch break and go grab some stuff at the dollar store. Like, when you have to buy, like, I buy my cotton swabs, and sometimes like it's just cheaper to buy that at the dollar store, right? Just went on my little lunch breaks and went on my walks, whatever. I remember I went there one day because they had a whole bunch of self-checkout like machines. And then one day I went in and I was like, wait, what happened to the self-checkout? Gone. We had because there was a long lineup at the front. I was like, yo, what's up? And I saw a security guard at the front too. And I was like, that's very peculiar. Long lineup. People was stealing, y'all. That self-checkout was making them lose so much money. People was stealing. Sometimes scanning things, acting like they're scanning and then not scanning anything. It's so easy, y'all. It's very easy to do that, I promise. So now they're like, oh, we need somebody to man these self-checkouts. I was like, yeah, you would have thought. Yeah, they were so excited to get the cashiers out. Oh, we going to save money with the machine. We don't have to deal with cashiers. We don't have to deal with humans. They're right back to the way it was. People were stealing on them self-checkout lanes. That's what they're not talking about. Oh, yeah, we're rolling out express self-checkout with limits of 10 items and opening more traditional lanes. Why? So they could see what you're scanning. Because if you have a big grocery cart, like a grocery cart full of a whole bunch of items, it's hard to keep track of what's being scanned. You could just scan and put down, scan, put down, leave stuff. People would leave stuff at the bottom of the cart to act like they didn't see it, so they didn't have to pay for it. Even now, Costco, you have to scan your membership, so they don't put a scanner at the front. They didn't have that before. Before, you could just walk and show your card, you gone. No, they want you to scan the card, and then when you leave, you got to show the receipt. Oh, they don't play about that no more. They're like, oh, and then I see them counting, because before they used to just be like, okay. Now I see them be like, yep. That's what's going on. They lost a whole bunch of money. That's good. That's what happens when you don't have a plan. You're just trying to get rid of people. AI is going to be the same. Them computers going to malfunction so much. The water, electricity, it's going to burst one day. It's going to be if the lights go out. Let's say you're doing something right now, right? You're using AI in the factory. You think, oh, I'm going to replace all these damn lazy workers. Let's say that the electricity goes out. AI done. Who the lights go out. If the lights go out right now, aren't you still able to work? Yeah, put the generator on. We gonna continue working. But if electricity goes off with the AI machine, did you guys not see the AI machine that was overworked and started to malfunction?
Walmart saying it will improve the in-store experience and give our associates the chance to provide more personalized and efficient service. I shopped at both stores over the past several days. At Target's Express Checkout, there was a long line.
All these people, all waiting for self-checkout.
With just one or two traditional lanes. Same thing at Walmart.
2 checkout lanes that have people working. And then this is the line for self-checkout.
One of the big motivators for
why they don't want to go to the traditional lane. You know why.
Tweaking things is theft. Stores are losing a lot of money as shoppers scan one item and then skip another.
And people aren't shy about admitting they'll help themselves at self-checkout. 15% of consumers admitted they purposely steal when ringing up their own items. And 44% of those people say they'll do it again.
They sure will. Red flag. I know they will. And you know what? One time I saw a kid playing with some candy. He was playing with it. I know his mama did not scan that candy. I was watching. I was doing my observation. I didn't say nothing. That ain't my damn business. But I saw the kid took the candy right out the store. I was like, yep.
This is why we can't have nice things, right?
Lauren Beadelspacher is a professor at Babson College. She's an expert in retail and consumer behaviors.
It's not popular because people like it.
During the pandemic, she says people didn't want to buy stuff face-to-face, and stores were having a hard time with staffing. So at the time, self-checkout fixed both issues. But now theft is a problem, and long lines are making for fewer fans of the self-scans.
I don't know exactly.
Yeah, because grandmas and grandpas, they still don't know how to use it. I'm like, can you help me? I always see them at the checkout line. Hey, dear. They love to call me dear. Hey, dear, do you think you could? I'm like, girl, I'll work here. Get out of here. But yeah, back to what we talking about. This is what's going on. Theft. Yeah. You know, in Korea, they have unmanned, like, ice cream and convenience stores. And then I told them this will never happen in Canada. I said, day one, all them items will be gone. Unmanned convenience stores. Like, you walk in, you get what you want, you check out. Yeah. They're just different. They abide by a different code of law. They abide by different social norms. In North America, Wild Wild West. Welcome to the West. That unmanned convenience store, if anybody opened it right up, let's say Dom opened one up, all them items gonna be gone in a few days. Trust and believe me. People just gonna get in, walk in, take it out. Like they own it. Like they don't even hide from the cameras no more, y'all. They don't care. This is why I know when them food stamps, or if they go out, they are not going, these people are going to steal. They're not joking. I don't know why people are, they not, okay. They gonna do it. They're just telling you ahead of time, look, we gonna take it. Just be careful. Be prepared. They gave y'all a warning. Thank you, Karma, for joining the inner circle. They done gave y'all a warning. Abide by it.
Much money they're losing, but retailers are already losing so much money with returns and investments in e-commerce.
So you have 90 stores in the company, and how many self-checkout lanes?
We don't have any self-checkout lanes in any of our stores.
Joe Schmidt is the director of operations at Market Basket, which is a unicorn in the bag-it-yourself world. The company has 30,000 workers. Schmidt says self-checkout would take away jobs.
We just got a response the other day from a customer that came in to say, please don't ever do self-checkout.
Experts say new technology will make it better and more secure, but it's never going away. So maybe we should all just follow Gail's advice.
What's the key to getting it done without having to call for assistance?
Lower your expectations.
Lower.
This ain't doing none of that. Listen, let's look at the AI that's malfunctioned, and then we wrapping this right up. AI malfunction. Was it in China? Here, where's the robot? Here, there we go. Where was it? No, not this one. It was, yeah, here. This is the one. This was 2 years ago, y'all. Look at that robot working so hard. Look at them. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. He didn't even stand a chance. Damn. I feel bad for the brother. I feel real bad. Or the sister. It looks like a brother here. Where else? Hold on. Where's the AI machine? There was another one. Hold on. Where it's at? Where is it at? Here we go. AI going crazy. Here we go. He couldn't even control it. Look at him. There you go. This is the future, y'all. They haven't gotten it together. They couldn't even get self-checkout together. You really think that they're able to contain these AI robots? I think not. Devonda, you said if SNAP goes away, who is going to feed the homeless people and the veterans? That's a good question. The robot's about to unionize you. Them robots finna get into a union for real. Yes, to answer your question, yes. That's a good question. Exactly. And the government's the one, like, that's what I'm saying, like, it's getting to the point, because the food banks, because the first thing they'll tell you is, oh, exhaust all your local resources. Okay, food bank, they're over capacity. In Canada right now, they're dealing with a lot of the foreign workers. They can't afford to live here anymore. And so they're using up the food banks. Who's funding the food banks? A lot of it comes from personal donations and government funding. But guess what? If people can't even afford to feed themselves, how are they going to donate to your food bank? None at all. That's what I'm saying. It's levels to this. So unfortunately, I ran out of time. I do have to get going. But tomorrow we're going to continue the conversation. I'm going to change the thumbnail to the topic that I discussed today. I did that last week. I realized, I was like, yeah, I got to change the thumbnail because people are going to get confused. So I'll change it to the topic we spoke about today. And tomorrow I'll show you guys the solutions. So today we went over the problems of AI. Tomorrow there's a lot of videos. But I'm going to go over one. So every week we'll go over a different video for solutions on how to do different things. So it's like grow your food, or different types of resources you can use to prepare. And we're going to do the relationships, the relationship bubble. I got a lot to say about the videos I posted. So we're going to go through relationships, and also the solution as well. Yeah, that those terrify me as well, girl. It's the same, sis. Like, especially because I know who's programming them. We know who's programming them. That's the problem. Yeah. But anyways, I'm gonna get going. So yeah, tomorrow, look out for the relationship live stream and the solutions to the issues we talked about today. And on that note, I'm gonna wish you guys a good afternoon. Tomorrow I will be live streaming as soon as I get home, so probably around the same time I always do, like 12:30. And then I will try not to stay too late tomorrow, so we're gonna skip through stories a little bit. But anyways, I will see you guys later. Love you guys as always. Please take care of yourselves, and until tomorrow, peace out. Bye. Oh, digital blackface AI videos. That's a good one. So every week, y'all, we're gonna do a segment on technology and then also solutions. So yeah, next week, let's talk about that next week. About the blackface. You know what? Let me write that down. That's actually a really good one. Sorry, y'all. Let me write that down because I know I'm gonna forget. Blackface AI is gonna be a new segment. We're gonna talk about relationships, but also, you know, social issues as well in tech. Blackface AI. That's a big one. Thanks for reminding me about that. All right, bye guys.